Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking at something really practical, how you can get better at speaking English, specifically getting fluent using question and answer practice.
Yeah, we're drawing on some tips from teacher Sam, who lays out a pretty clear strategy. It's all about boosting that smooth, confident flow when you talk.
And what I like about this, and I think you will too, is how it taps into the way our brains actually learn. It's active.
Exactly. It's not just, reading rules passively. It's making your brain retrieve and use the language. That strengthens the connections way faster.
Like learning to ride a bike, right? You can read the manual.
Right, but you only learn by actually getting on and trying to pedal. This Q&A practice is the getting on the bike bit for language.
Okay, perfect analogy.
Hmm.
And for you listening, especially if you want to grasp things quickly and properly, this deep dive is focused on those actionable bits. We won't get lost in theory. Our mission today: pull out the key ideas from Teacher Sam's method, show you how the specific practice can genuinely shift your English speaking. So let's start with the why. Why is this question-answer thing so effective?
Well, fundamentally, it mimics real conversation. When you practice answering, even on your own, your brain's doing that same quick processing it needs in a real chat.
Retrieving words, building sentences.
Yeah, and understanding the question in the first place, all at once. It's that active work that builds fluency much better than just, say, studying vocabulary lists.
It's like prepping your brain for the main event, not just reading the playbook. And Teacher Sam highlights some really clear wins from this kind of mental exercise.
Absolutely. The source really emphasizes how it boosts fluency, that ability to make sentences quickly, naturally, without always translating in your head.
Right.
And it builds confidence. Big time. When you get comfortable with common questions, have some answers ready. Well, you naturally feel less stressed in actual conversations.
Wow.
And, importantly, it really sharpens your understanding. You can't give a good answer if you didn't quite catch the question, right? So it forces better listening.
Total sense. It's the whole interaction, not just speaking words.
Okay.
Okay, so where does this skill really matter? Like in the real world?
Well, think about those moments that count. Job interviews, for instance. Being able to understand maybe complex questions and then answer clearly, confidently, that can make all the difference.
Huge difference.
Or when you're traveling, getting around, dealing with situations, connecting with people, it all depends on understanding and responding well in English.
Yeah, absolutely. And Teacher Sam points out, getting good at this can really open doors. New opportunities, new experiences. That's a great motivator.
Definitely.
Okay, so we get why it works and why it matters. Let's get practical. How do we actually do this? What are the steps?
Right, so the source gives us 5 practical steps, a really solid framework. First one, maybe the most obvious starting point. Start with common questions.
And Teacher Sam lists some good examples, the basics, yeah? Like, what's your name? Where are you from? Or daily stuff. What do you do? What's your routine? And those icebreakers. Favorite food, hobbies, things you hear all the time.
Exactly. Those are the foundations. But the key thing here isn't just thinking about answers, it's actually writing them down and practicing saying them out loud.
Okay, engaging different senses there.
Right. It helps lock those answers into your memory. Then step 2 builds on this. Use flashcards.
Yeah, flashcards, a classic.
Yeah.
But not just for single words here.
No, exactly. Here, you put the question on one side, your practiced answer on the other. It lets you test yourself easily, regularly.
Okay.
And as you get better with the basics, you start adding trickier questions. So you're always pushing yourself a little bit.
Smart. A gradual build-up. What's step 3 in Teacher Sam's plan?
Step 3 is crucial for seeing how you really sound. Record yourself.
Okay, yeah. I know some people find listening to their own voice a bit awkward. But what's the real payoff?
Well, it's amazing for catching those little pronunciation things you might not even notice while you're speaking. Tiny errors or awkward phrasing.
Right, you hear it differently.
Exactly. And you can track your progress. Listening back to older recordings and hearing the improvement, that's a massive confidence booster. It's concrete proof you're getting better.
Good point. Makes it feel real, not just abstract. Okay, step 4.
Step 4 is about moving from just answers to more interactive practice. Engage in role-playing.
Right, so acting out conversations. Teacher Sam mentions things like ordering in a restaurant, booking a hotel room.
Or even practicing a job interview scenario.
Yeah, it's about using those answers you practice, but in a more spontaneous, back and forth kind of way.
Exactly. This is where you really start applying it. It gets you ready for how unpredictable real conversations can be, helps you think on your feet in English.
Okay, makes sense. And the last practical step from Teacher Sam.
The final one is to join language exchange programs.
Ah, using those online platforms or apps.
Precisely. Connecting with other learners, and especially native speakers, gives you that invaluable real-world practice. Plus, you get exposed to different accents, different ways of speaking. That's key for true fluency.
Okay, so those 5 steps: common questions, flashcards, recording, role-playing, language exchange.
Yeah.
That's a really solid path. But the impact goes beyond just speaking more smoothly, doesn't it?
Mm.
Teacher Sam mentions wider benefits, too.
Oh, absolutely. If you step back and look at the bigger picture, getting good at this Q&A stuff, it ripples outwards. Personally, for starters, as you get better at expressing yourself in English, your overall self-confidence just grows.
Ah, I can see that.
And being able to articulate your thoughts clearly, that strengthens your relationships with people too.
Makes total sense. Clear communication is fundamental. What about, say, professionally?
Well, professionally, strong English skills honed through this kind of practice, they really open up the job market, especially internationally.
Right?
And good communication is obviously vital for networking, building those professional links.
And for anyone studying
Yeah.
in academics.
Oh, it's fundamental for academic success. Understanding questions properly, responding thoughtfully, that directly affects how well you grasp the material.
And your ability to participate, I guess.
Exactly. It lets you join in class discussions more actively, more confidently. It just makes the whole learning experience richer.
So yeah, really wide-ranging benefits across life. Now, let's be real. Learning to speak a language isn't always easy. There are hurdles. Teacher Sam talks about some common ones.
Yeah, this is important. What are those typical struggles, and how does this Q&A approach help? A big one is often the fear of making mistakes.
Oh, definitely. That worry about sounding silly or getting it wrong, it can really hold people back.
It can. But the source suggests a mindset shift. See mistakes not as failures, but as feedback. Each error shows you where you need a bit more work. It's actually helpful.
A learning opportunity, not a dead end. Okay, what else?
Another common one is having a limited vocabulary.
Right. Hard to answer questions if you don't have the words.
Pretty much. So the solution is twofold. One, actively build your vocabulary, reading, listening, noting down new words. But crucially, two, you then have to use those new words in your practice answers. Make them active.
Make them stick.
Yeah.
Got it. Any other big challenges?
Yes. Pronunciation difficulties, that's another frequent one.
English pronunciation can be tricky, for sure. All the weird spellings and sounds.
It can. So Teacher Sam recommends using online tools, pronunciation guides, really listening to and trying to copy native speakers. And again, recording yourself is key here to catch where you might be going off track.
So practical fixes for common problems, that's encouraging. And to really drive home how well this works, Teacher Sam includes an example, right? A success story. Tell us about Diana.
Yeah, Diana's story is a great illustration. She apparently had a good grasp of English grammar, knew lots of words, but she really struggled with confidence when it came to actually speaking.
Felt stuck, maybe.
Felt stuck, yeah. But she started doing consistent question-answer practice, really dedicated herself to it. And over time, her fluency improved significantly. But more than that, her confidence soared.
And the outcome.
The outcome was she felt able to apply for and actually got a job in an international company, something she didn't think was possible before.
Wow. That's a fantastic example of the transformative power of this method. Really brings it to life.
Yeah.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the main takeaway?
The core message from Teacher Sam is pretty clear. Practicing English consistently using these question-answer techniques. It's a proven, really effective way to get fluent and communicate confidently.
And it's more than just better speaking skills. It can genuinely open up new paths for you, professionally, personally, enrich your life. So for you listening right now, what's the immediate next step?
The advice is simple. Start today. Pick just a few common questions, maybe ones we mentioned, and start practicing your answers out loud.
Just begin.
Just begin. Be patient with yourself. Embrace the process. And remember that doing it consistently is what really makes the difference.
Absolutely. And keep in mind, every expert, every fluent speaker started somewhere. They were beginners once. With steady effort and a focused method like this question-answer practice, you really can master English fluency and unlock all sorts of new possibilities. Thanks for diving deep with us today.